My name is Lorrie. Welcome to my channel. We are quilters. I have several topics to blab about with you today. First of all, when I was sorting and putting things away, I discovered these sandpaper strips. I think they were to cut and use as templates, but I'm not sure because I have never done that. If you've ever done that, please let me know below in the comments. I'm curious as how well that works. I got those strips put away. They were in a bag, and there were many of them, and I put them in a container to make charity quilts next spring and summer when I'm here. Those sandpaper strips were in with those fabric strips. And like I said, I'm just curious. So on the topic of putting away scraps and things, I sort things that are less than 1.5 inches square that can be made into crumb quilts in several containers. One here on the cutting table, and sometimes they get moved back to the other area where I sort scraps and put them away. Let me show you the other scrap container. It's called Scraps to be Sorted, and I have bagged all those little pieces up. There's not too many, and they are making a trip, so I can sort them in my West Virginia sewing room, and I sort them in bags by color so that I can make crumb blocks that are monochrome. They're just one color, like reds or blue. So those are all packed now and ready to go. Wait, let me show you the video. Not everything fits out here in my little sewing space. I've taken over one of the walls in a guest room because we have guests maybe 4 weeks out of the summer, and then that room sits empty. So I've taken over one of the walls to sort and put away scraps in containers. Let me show you. Let's have a look at where the storage is for stuff. This room is officially as cold as a meat locker. Wait, let me turn on a light so you can see. This is why I have taken over some space. Yeah, I have that small space and stuff here. And here, if you look carefully, are all of my labeled little drawers. I do not keep nearly as much scrap stuff here in Michigan. Here are my drawers that I'm going to sort those little containers into. Here we have 1.5 strips with a small container of 2.5 strips on one side. 1.5 inch squares sorted by lights and darks. 4.5 inch squares. I think these are 3.5 inch squares, 2.5 inch squares, and those are the only things that I saved to use later. Also, I pulled jewelry pieces out to put on the crazy blocks a couple weeks ago. Well, I've decided that I need more of those broken pieces of jewelry to take home to West Virginia and use in my West Virginia sewing room. So I've fixed up a couple little boxes of jewelry parts and beads and things that I don't have there. I have lots of findings and beads, but not broken jewelry parts that can be salvaged for that kind of project. So I have those all packed up too. If you have not noticed in the last couple videos, I got rid of the purple mat, at least for everyday purposes, and I got this nice new green mat. I did not realize how chewed up that purple mat had really become until I laid out this green mat. And on the other side, it's blue and it has centimeter markings. So I should be using this mat for quite a while. This part is I know that at least one of my viewers, one of you out there, is going to love this part. We went to a thrift store here in Hale. It's called the Fish Store, and they contribute the money that they take in to several other charities, Food Pantry, the Baby Fish Store, which is all baby clothes and accessories, and there was another charity they contribute to also. So they usually have some good buys on things, and I bought 5 of these quarter bags because I'm making an I Spy alphabet quilt for my great niece and one for my granddaughter. And so the pictures that I could see appealed to me, but I didn't really look through the bags to see what was in them. I knew it would be like Christmas when I got them home. So here is a short video of me pulling out fabric just to see what kind of things I found. All usable, but I wouldn't want to have to buy yardage or even sometimes a fat quarter of each of these. So let me let you watch. Sickles. Interesting. Okay, there's one little bag. This bag, I saw this Hungry Caterpillar fabric, and it doesn't matter if I get like one little square. That will be fantastic. Oh, we have storm clouds. And this, you can see where things were pieced together, but that's all right. For a quarter, I can have a quarter's worth of fun cutting these into little pieces for I Spy things. Look at those cute little birds on the trees. Oh, sniffle, sniffle. Ooh, big flowers. I don't know what this person was making. This cracks me up. This piece of fabric with the kings and the jacks and the queens. Very cute, very cute. Oh, and look at this one. Huh. Tattoos. Interesting. All rights reserved, and a name is cut off. Interesting. Tattoo parlor. Guy getting a ship tattooed on his chest. Interesting. And then a lovely pink floral. Oh, there's more, there's more. Marion, go get a cup of coffee. Oh. This is so 80s. I had a sweater that my grandmother knit, and it had the white sheep and the one black sheep. So 1980s. Cute though. This has fox and squirrels and giraffe and deer, and enough of that to do something with. Oh, I don't know what this looks like. Evil stepmama. Is this Cinderella? This woman has an owl nesting in her hair. I don't know what line that is from. Very interesting though. And this was the piece of fabric that was on the back that caught my interest. The cute little birds. There's a quilt block pattern for little birds that is adorable. It looks so sweet and easy to do. I need to find that, and we could make a bird quilt. This one, the Vikings. My son is going for this Viking look with his beard, but I love Nessie. Just absolutely love Nessie. Oh, my husband's bringing in firewood. Oh, there's a deer and birch trees. And aliens and spaceships. Little trees. This is a fairly big piece. Little hedgehogs in different colors. And one last bag. Oh, it has some Alice of Wonder. That is definitely Alice in Wonderland fabric. Let's see what it's got. Alice. And it's got playing cards. And again, it's seamed down the side. And playing cards. Cute. Oh, look at this little black and white. It says airport and it has all kinds of trains and terminals and hotels. Fox fabric. That reminds me of Asher. Asher. Oh, and little animals. Very useful. And the last piece. More little animals. Baby animals, I do believe. Except baby animals don't have antlers. Baby deer do not have spots and antlers at the same time. But mushrooms, very cute. All this will be very useful in making an I Spy quilt for my granddaughter Scarlett and my great niece Sadie. We also recently Dan picked up 2 very nice cross-stitch books at that same thrift store. And one of these, the original price on it, $19.95. Now I realized that was in the 80s because I worked at a piece goods store that sold those. And their patterns are pretty nice. So we have quite a few of those, but now we have a few more. I also picked up some yardage there and at an estate sale. I love this cheater fabric. It will, even though it is not like primo quality, it will make a great back on a kid's blanket. There was about 3 yards there. Snowman panels seem to also be a theme throughout the day. These were 1-yard pieces that would be made into something snowman-like. And as I was cleaning and sorting, I came across a yard of Halloween fabric that my friend gave me, and it was a Walmart yard of fabric. It was wrapped around this paper spool. Now, I generally do not put my fabric on cardboard. That is a great way to organize, but I can't handle that over-the-edge organization strategy, so I don't organize that way. But I think those paper spools are wonderful for when you make binding. You can wrap your pre-ironed binding around those spools because you can twist and turn them as you apply the binding to the quilt, and it makes it much easier unless you drop it on the floor and it goes under the table. Usually it makes it much easier to handle 1.5 miles of binding as you put it on a quilt. Oh, very quickly, I had a friend text me today and she was asking me about the surprise that's coming up, and I sent her a picture. I'll pop it up here for you when I sent you. I told you I've been playing with EQ8, and I think I have it mastered enough to get us started. So here's the picture, and I even made it the front cover of my notebook with all my patterns in it. And she said, "Oh, that's pretty, but those look like complicated blocks." And my answer back was, they do look complicated, but they are not, because I break it down into simple units that anyone can do. And so she was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a plan." And it will not be so intense that you can't keep up. That's all I'm going to say. I'll talk about more later. But it starts on December the 1st. And this was the best part of EQ8. I figured out how to make this, a coloring page, so that if you do not use the same colorway that I use, you can do your own color placement by printing out this page and using colored pencils. So I will tell you more about that later. Much more about it later. I'll probably bring it up a couple more times before I actually talk about it on November 29th. Yes, I know that is Black Friday, but that is when I'm going to talk about it the most, because the first part of the story will drop on December 1st. Now I need to switch gears and talk about the Patriotic quilt, because we are getting closer and closer to finishing. When I made the last set of 4 at a time flying geese, I said, oh, I've never had problems, so I don't clip that little corner. And what happened? For the first time ever making flying geese that way, it had problems. Luckily, I had some extra flying geese when I made that pattern, so that became half square triangles, because I didn't need that flying goose anyway. But from here on in, I will probably clip that corner so that I don't ever have that problem again. Yeah, who knew? Goose problems. And as I have been working on some of the other blocks, I have been saving my little half square triangles, and I discovered that I have enough of those little bonus half square triangles for, I believe it's not this week coming up, it's the following week, that I can use the parts in part of the setting blocks. So I always find a use for those eventually, but those ones will fit right in. It wasn't in the plan. It's just a happy accident. So now I would like to do a very quick block parade of the Patriotic blocks, show you the pictures, quick pictures, not perfect pictures, not on the design wall. First off, we have flags, and you'll remember there are 3 of those in the setting. And then there is the 4 candidates block. And then there is the Road to the White House block, and we made several of these to go along the bottom and up both sides. And then there was Uncle Sam's favorite, which gave us lots of practice with those little half square triangles and some bigger half square triangles, but a very cute block. Not hard when you break it down into separate pieces. Let me flip through so I don't have to rely on my memory to get the right names. There were 12 of those Road to the White House blocks. I have my placement sheets right here in front of me. And then the most challenging block in the whole series was the President's Choice. And I decided that it was much better to use pins on that one, because all those corners do meet. I even had to redo a little part of it because I didn't use pins, didn't follow my own advice or what I know, because I was being, what's that word, lazy. But it turned out very nicely in the end. And then we had the Follow the Leader block, which was easy and very spinning and graphic, and it looks good. It looks good. And then on Wednesday this week, we did the center block, the Design for Patriotism. It's a fairly large block, and it will be the perfect center with those 4 little stars marching straight down. And then on this Wednesday coming up, because the election will be over, we have the Jubilee block, the final big block for the quilt. And then it's just some setting things. And by the end of the month, by the end of November, we will have the quilt top all together and set up. And we will be all ready to go right into A Study in Scarlet, the audio presentation of the book and the quilt that goes along with it. It will be lots of fun. So that is our quick little parade of patriotic blocks. On Monday, we have another outline stitch from the book Stitch Sampler. Somehow I did not realize when I was making up my list of embellishments that there is a section of outline stitches. It's about 10 stitches, but this one is so easy. So we will be doing another outline stitch because those are very versatile and come in handy when you need to go around a block or emphasize an area. On Monday, I will see you for chain stitches. Thank you for watching. See you later. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye, Long Lake. See you in the spring. See you later, Cheryl and Jim. Please remember to like and subscribe as I travel home to West Virginia for the winter.